Hey friends, this is my video book report on the garden that I've been working on. So here we are at the main gate to the garden. The fencing and stuff like that, that was built by Mikey Nelson a couple of years ago. So going inside. Now 2 years ago, we didn't have any of these raised beds. And I was having an awful lot of trouble getting anything to grow because the ground had gone sour actually. So what I had to do 2 years ago is I went and I got wood and I built these raised bed garden boxes. Now I only had enough dirt to fill this one, and that one partially, and that one partially. So some of these beds were pretty full, but they weren't full. So I set about making compost piles. Here's a future compost pile. Those are some irises I pulled out of the ground that are on top of that. And here's a compost pile for next year. Big pile of dirt. Some rocks in the front of it for a snake habitat. So grass snakes will get in there and they'll enjoy the warm rocks in the morning. And anyways, I built a couple of compost piles, kind of like these. And fortunately this year I had enough dirt to fill all of my garden boxes and then some. All these strawberries are transplants from last year's strawberry bed. I've already shipped a bunch away, so like these are all new starts, so they should give us a healthy strawberry harvest. And there's even some growing in the compost pile because strawberries, being hardy, they don't want to die really. But these ones are old ones, and they're not really going to produce very much. And there is the bane of the garden. It's the black slug. Now, I normally treat Animalia and Vegetalia rather respectfully, but slugs in the garden, they go right out. And look at this. This is how far I've advanced. I used to not be able to touch these guys. There he is. I still think they're gross, but now, oh, I didn't get them. Did I get them? Still didn't get them. They don't die very easily because they're slugs. They just squish into the cracks in between my boot. And there's another one. So, yeah, used to be I didn't mind these guys at all. And as long as they're not in the garden, I won't mess with them. But if I find them in here, they're done for. And I tell them that year after year after year. Here's our kale. I'm happy this is already producing rather well. These are all transplant plants out of other places in the garden. There's the Christmas hyacinth, which is doing really well. And most of these pots, these ones with stuff in them, those are blueberries, which are starting to take some mint. But most of these pots, oh yeah, these four, there's my avocados that I found in the compost growing. Maybe they'll grow, maybe they won't. All the pots with hay on them, those are all waiting to be planted. Most of them are waiting to be planted. This is the starter house, the greenhouse that I just built in the last day or two. You see there's some gaps in there, but it's good that there's air that gets through. And that's where we're going to start everything that grows up in there. Now, as far as gardening technique, every one of these boxes that did have some dirt in them, they were having weed problems. We've got some pretty hardy weeds. There's buttercups that keep on coming in from the outside edge. That's them there. So every one of these beds was had the dirt scraped right out, right down to the bottom. Had a nice layer of this grass that is all over everything. This grass I'm harvesting from the backfield. Nice layer of grass in there to keep down the weeds. And then had some sort of not very good soil on the bottom, and then a nice layer of topsoil, sand, fish fertilizer, horse manure, quality soil, and that's for planting in. This what I'm looking at right now, this is the pea rack. This is for our snow peas. They always go off pretty early and produce for a while, and this year I decided to like really accommodate them, really give them a lot of space to spread out. That's for the snow peas. There we got some strawberries from last year's strawberries that these ones took all by themselves, and they've decided to start growing there in the edges of the pots. I think that's a great idea. These are raspberries, which are starting to take, they need some trimming, but that'll happen in the next little while. And this chunk of ground, let me just back up and get a good look at it. This chunk of ground, this is like the only unworked piece of ground left in the garden, and that's because the stones are getting thrown over here and stuff like that, and the raspberries are here, and I wanted to wait for these to take off before I get in here and dig anything out. But there's room for another something. Probably the raspberries are going to get moved, and there's going to be another compost pile go there or something. So I've got all these pots ready to be planted. Some big pots down here ready to be planted. Oh yeah, and under that white tarp over there, that's all pots for tobacco. I'm gonna start some tobacco in pots this year, and I've got this rack for frozen peas, not sugar peas, not the other ones. Got a couple of really big containers that I'm going to make use of for what? I don't know yet. Maybe potatoes. But this last box there, just with the just before the compost pile, that I'm actually going to turn into my potato box. And what I'm thinking is to put some stuff along the corners and the sides, and build it up, and line it with some plastic fence and some landscaping tarp, and just let the potatoes grow in there, and use that like a big tire, because we don't want to use tires here because of all they're made out of petroleum. I don't really want them in the garden. So anyways, that's pretty much it. We're gonna go out. I'm gonna show off one little bit, and then I'll call that done. These are all the starter trays that are, and some extra stuff. Starter trays for getting our lettuces and stuff like that ready to go in the ground. And those are all going to go under that greenhouse for a little while. I'm going to build another greenhouse on the bed behind the where the tobacco pots are, behind that white tarp on the ground. I'm going to build another greenhouse bed there, and that's going to be for lettuces and quick growing things, so we can just have like a nice hothouse to harvest stuff out of this year. Or I might reverse it. It might be this one that's going to be used as the hothouse, and that's going to be the starter house. But that's the way that'll go. And just as an aside, here's Cameron's garden space that he started working on this year. There's his little greenhouse that he started working on. I guess it's not really that little. But he's moved a fair amount of dirt too. Still got a bunch of dirt to move, but he's decided to stake out this space and claim that for garden, and I certainly hope that it's rather abundant for him. So we're 9 minutes. Thank you very much for listening. I hope everybody enjoys watching this video, watching the video, and I guess I should give you a shot of the happy gardener. Like, there I am. Hi. And there's the garden. So, see ya.